Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th round of the AOR Hyper Energy Season 17 Formula 3 League here on the PC. We're here at the Hockenheimring for the German Grand Prix, and Hockenheim held its first World Championship round back in 1970. The drivers refused to race on the Nürburgring Nordschleife on safety grounds. In 1977, F1 turned its back on the Nordschleife for good after having switched between the two tracks for years, and the Hockenheimring became the regular home of the German Grand Prix. Hockenheim was the regular host until 1984, when the safer GP stretch was built. Both tracks got used up until 2011, when F1 once again turned its back on the Nürburgring. Its long straights tortured engines even when they were broken up by chicanes, which were tightened on safety grounds as the years went on, notably at the Ostkurve, where Patrick Depailler sadly lost his life during testing in 1980. Eventually, concerns over the safety of the track, particularly how narrow it was, and environmental pressures due to its location in a heavily wooded area, led to the destruction of its characteristic long straights after the 2001 race. The tyres available for this weekend are the Ultra Soft, Softs and Mediums, and as always, the Intermediates and Full Wets if the rain decides to come down, as saw in real life Grand Prix. Now for the records, GTR Killer Whale holds the pole time with a 1:44.8, and LXU Kai holds the fastest race time with a 42:22.0. Now for a look at the 4.5 km or 2.8 mile long circuit with 16 corners, 5 to the left and 11 to the right, and 3-hole DRS zones, making it surprisingly hard to overtake on. Now Alex and you around the
turn 1, lifting ever so slightly, staying in 7th gear for turn 1, open up DRS once again as we start barreling down towards turn 2, 3 and 4, braking just at 100 meters there in 8th gear. Now here we go, running a bit wide as we go into the Parabolica, DRS open for the 3rd time as he goes into 8th gear, gets him ready for turn 6, which is the hairpin. Here he goes, about to brake just before the 100 meter board, right down into 2nd gear, open up ready for another long straight. Here we go into 4th, into 5th gear. You're going to make sure you're ready for turn 7, not even lifting at all, keep on accelerating as we got a heavy braking zone into turn 8. Mercedes taking a lovely bit of curve there, if I do say so myself, into 9, into 10, another long straight as we head into turn 11. Mobile 1 only shifting down ever so slightly into 6th gear, into 7 as we go to Sachs. Make sure you don't bin it like any other Ferraris do as we go into a very tricky section, very technical, into 13, 14 and 15, and then you go for the last 16, open up DRS once again, and that is a lap round the Hockenheimring. I've been Alex Buckmaster, please enjoy your race.
Now, welcome back from that hot lap, and I am terribly sorry that there was some quite amount of lag on that hot lap. I'm currently trying to resolve the graphics issues there, and while I try doing that, James will take you through the championship standings.
Yep, and we have Skatey, who currently leads the way with 70 points to his name, 2 points ahead of lap 0. It's very congested for the battle for the lead of the champion with the halfway stage of this season. You have Heitinen closely behind on 60 points, and there's a 13-point deficit to El Soni in 4th, and Kimmy's in 5th, level on points with Hooper, who scored his first podium of the season in last week's British Grand Prix. You have Condam in 7th, Hazard in 8th, ahead of his teammate FK Gaming in 9th, Ruffel rounding out the top 10. Then we have Return in 11th, Peter in 12th, Greju in 13th, JSR 14th, Bailey in 15th, Vessel in 16th, Then we have Lucas in 17 and Robert in 18, and then Popasok just again not attending this race and still bottom of the charts. Moving on to the team championship, we have Renault leading the way, but it's quite close again. We have Saab in second position, Skatey and Lazzaro providing a huge amount of income to their tallies respectively this season. Force India in third ahead of Williams and Mercedes, who are level on points. Haas in sixth position ahead of McLaren, Journey just though by 1 point. Then Ferrari in eighth, and then Red Bull Rosso are both way off. Red Bull picking up 15 points, and Toro Rosso only the single point.
Yep, that's your championship standings. Now, let's go on straight to qualifying with some more lag there. It looks like it has stabilized a tiny bit, but I'm not quite sure. Looks like this track just doesn't want to work with me. Just waiting for the stream to switch over so I can see how it looks. Yeah, and I'm also sorry for how it looks on screen. Also trying to resolve that right now. Sorry for the blackout that's going to be right there. Let's see again. If I just do that, and let's see how that will look. Doesn't look like the game now will pick up for me, so that is great. For some reason it has decided to cut out here now that qualifying has just begun. But let's try that again and see if it picks up. That's technology for you sometimes. It looks like it is back on my screen again. So, looking at it now, we have Bailey Thompson out of qualifying already.
Yeah, it's Hazard setting the benchmark, the 1:12.5. You can see most drivers opting for the medium tyre to start the race, to start qualifying on, I should say. Obviously, we do have the ultra softs, the softs, and the medium on option. And I'm assuming most drivers will start to go qualifying on the mediums and set their banker lap, and then go on to the softs. I don't think ultra softs are going to be a popular option, let's just say. From our season 16 F4 race, the Polestar who qualified on ultra softs, pretty much, I think it came in at like 9th or 8th, so it's probably not the best strategy decision, so that's why all the drivers are looking to start on the soft compound tyres. Maybe outside the top 10 we'll see some medium tyres, but do not expect any ultra soft runners.
No, very much. The only possibility of some ultra soft runners if there comes a safety car or someone loses a front wing late in the race, they could then switch on to those and drive it and try to drive it home on those with a bit more speed. But unless that, it'll very much be a soft to mediums or vice versa.
Interestingly, El Sony is the only one to opt for the ultra soft tyres. He might try and see how they work on his car with his setup and everything like that, but I don't think he'll opt to set a lap time on them. It'll be interesting to see if he does though and prove us wrong, because that would be quite interesting to see. Obviously, if you do qualify in ultra soft tyres, I think anything less than pole position is a must. So let's see what else Sony decides to do. As we can see, actually Condam in the Haas goes provisional pole, the 1:12.4. We should be expecting high 11s maybe for a expected pole time. Maybe if someone pulls out of the bag, they could do a probable 1:11.2. A Skater now takes back provisional pole position with the 1:12.3, the championship leader, as we mentioned, and Lazzaro in second position is not here this evening, which could face big consequences, especially if Skitty gets a decent result and Heinen as well. So Skitty has an advantage even before the race has even begun.
Yes, he very much does have. Sorry for that. He very much does have. looking at the championship standings there. So that'll be interesting to see if he can capitalise on those.
Yeah, definitely. Elsewani actually is going to face up to Skatey. He's coming through turn 10, 9 and 10 now, and Skatey in the Renault does make way for the McLaren as he heads into the stadium section. A very tight and technical section into the Sachs curve, where it's easy to lose it, just misjudging a braking zone, but Elsewani's doing this nice and tidy through the final two corners. The second part a bit more flat out, and up towards the line with DRS wide open. He slots himself.
Yeah,
Would have been proposition, but he got it off and validated.
Yeah, I think it was very early on he did. I just think he tried to push out hard as possible on those ultra soft. Maybe he got it invalidated on purpose, so you could just see how it felt pushing hard but not being contention for pole position.
FK Gaming's rounding the final corner. He's on 5 lap old. Unless my time boards are wrong, and he's actually on very old medium tyres. He might be doing. He's doing race runs. I don't think you should be doing race runs in qualifying, but I think he's just doing some qualifying runs. But because these medium tyres can last a lot, so if he wants to qualify on these tyres, he might as well. But I might think that running 6 laps on these tyres might hurt him in the race.
I think what he could be doing right now is to just put some fast times, but invalidate them on those medium tyres. See what he can do, and then go and switch on to another sets of maybe softs or mediums, and then do his actual qualifying time. But it's a bit of an interesting strategy he has there, as he just runs over the grass. That could be the thing that invalidates this lap. Also seeing IDV further up, also on very old mediums, and also Heitenen. A lot of drivers opting to go long on these medium tyres in qualifying, which is really an interesting choice from them.
Yeah, Hayden thrown himself onto the front row. You can see most drivers now coming out on soft compound tyres, both Renaults opting for the soft. Skitty is not yet out, but his teammate is. Return down in ninth place on 2 consecutive DNFs. The last thing he wants to do is carry on that form here in Hockenheim, where unfortunately last season in F4 he actually had a DRS failure coming through turn 1, which pretty much wrecked his race, and from there on in it was a pretty lonely race right at the back, so we were hoping to not repeat that. But let's see what he can do on those soft tyres, what everyone else can do on those compound tyres. He's one of only a few drivers on the track at the moment. Peter's actually going to dart into the pits. But yeah, him and Greju pretty much have the track to themselves, I think.
Yeah, they do. Ruthful, Greju, and FK Gaming, and Hitznen is also out currently. But yeah, mostly they have it for themselves, and all the drivers are quite spread out. So you have a return coming up to what looks like FK Gaming just passes him. Actually, that was Hitznen that just pulls to the side. So yeah, very much for himself out there.
Yeah, FK Gaming finally came into the pit, still without a time, as is Vessel and El Sonny in 14th, 15th, 16th return, running over the curbs on the exit of turn 10 there, as he flings his way into the stadium section, in towards the Sachs curve. Camber left-hander there, and in towards the left, then the right, and into the final 2 right-handers to close out the lap. Looked pretty decent so far from what I've seen. Where is he going to pelt into the top 10? It's pole position. So he just about edges out his teammate. But to note, he's on the soft compound tyres and Skates at that lap time on the mediums. So it's return with the upper hand. Can Greju maybe challenge him? He's up on his time at 1:17.4, so that really doesn't surprise me considering he's way off the pace on that medium tyre. But now on the soft tyre, where can this lap put him in the leaderboards? Rounding out the final sector now Oh, he's backed off, I think. Yep, he's gone to zero ERS mode, so he must have made a mistake somewhere. And he is indeed darting into the pits. With only 4 minutes remaining of this session, time is running out for everyone to put in their competitive lap times.
Yeah, Ruthful here, about to come round on their first run on the soft tyres. Here coming through the last couple of corners. Here, what can they produce coming over the line? It will be provisional pole position, 1:12.0. Great time there for him in the Force India. Also,
Yep,
his
2:10 ahead of Ruthful.
yeah, and his teammates Kimi is also out on a set of soft tyres.
Yeah, making his way down towards turn 2 and 3. Interestingly, no one has gone for the ultra soft tyres, unsurprisingly I should say. But Kimi is now making his way down towards, oh, I think he's backed off again.
Yeah, he
Must have got a
has.
lap validated somewhere, yeah he did.
Yeah. We also have Hazard currently also out on the soft tyres on a qualifying lap. He hasn't backed off, he's going full on through Palbolka, coming down to the hairpin of turn 6. You have to be careful not to lock up at it, as it's quite easy as you come through that left-hander, just full speed.
So Russell's going for it again.
Ooh.
Russell's making his way around the final corner, he's still on overtake mode. Is he going to go extend, is it? Yes, he does.
Yes.
Nearly a
111.9.
tenth of a second ahead of his previous best.
Yes,
Since
indeed.
the 111, it's only just. Can anyone respond? Kimi's ranking around the final corner, his teammate up towards the line now, and Kimi is way off the pace. But he'll go for it again, I assume, and he will.
What will Hazard be able to do? Coming through the last corner here. He goes off the track a bit. Will that be enough? Yes, it will. 111.7. Provisional pole for him now. Right, Condam going full speed. Heitzen coming across the line here to start. No, to end this lap. They're not enough from him. Who else is close to the line? Condam towards the end. Coming in to Mercedes there. That's not, oh, there we have IDV. Not enough. It looks like. Whilst that was a start.
FK Gaming would have gone pole position with that lap time had it not been invalidated.
Ooh.
That's interesting. It was just ahead of his teammates' time, and the Red Bulls are giving each other slipstream as that is JSR going pole position with 111.744. But I'm interested to look at the Red Bulls here. They're doing some mega teamwork. The only team I've actually seen do this really effective use of the slipstream down towards turn 6. Vessel didn't really use it to a full effectiveness. He locked up into that turn 6 hairpin there. Let's see how that slipstream helped, or hopefully helped Vessel's lap times as he progresses through turn 9 and 10. Again, he's one of 3 drivers yet to set a lap time. There's only a minute left of this qualifying session, so it's really now or never for Vessel. I'm assuming he's going to return the favour of that slipstream for Grezju's lap next time around, as Rufo retires from the session. But here comes Vessel, making his way around the final 2 corners, and it doesn't look that quick, to be honest. Up towards the line now, and yeah, it wasn't quick indeed. He might try and go again. He is going to go again, but yeah, it didn't really use that slipstream to great effect.
No, but he has his teammate behind him. Could this be them trying again with that slipstream? So also look down towards El Sony and FK Gaming. They have to put in a lap time about now because they don't have any more laps. See some yellow flags. That's going to be Grezju overtaking Vessel. Kimis, yes. 111.7 as that's Vessel going off track after he helped his teammate Grezju. What will he be able to produce after getting that help via the slipstream? Will he be able to do it better, or will he just be like Vessel, not being able to do anything good from that? Vessel retiring towards just after the hairpin, I believe. But also,
this up in his lap time. Sorry to interrupt you. He's in 4th place at the moment. Oh no, very penultimate corner. Ooh. Is it going to affect him down towards the line? And he doesn't improve. That final few corners really hurt him. and his fifth pole position has ended, starting 4th place at best.
Yeah,
The two Renault, sorry. Oh, FK Gaming goes pole position. 4 tenths ahead. Can Skater respond?
Yes.
No, only second fastest.
Close.
It's all swapping at the top of the timesheets. Can
Yes.
Condam in the second half potentially spoil FK Gaming, the Germans' party, round the final corner? He's out of ERS, up towards the line. 6th.
Yeah. And also, Greshu wasn't able to do anything with that slipstream he got. His return, and that's him going into the pits. So that will be your champion or your qualifying standings for the race before we start in just a moment.
The German on pole position for the German Grand Prix. Yeah, that's exactly what FK Game would have needed, and is a sizable margin as well, ahead of Skatey, 3 tenths of a second. That's going to be a confidence boost for sure. But like we saw in the 2018 race, a German on pole position in front of his home crowd didn't go so well. Let's hope FK Gaming does not repeat what a certain Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, as we're just waiting for Kimmy's, and then we'll be able to see how it all turned out on the official standings. With FK Gaming on pole position, Skatey running off the front row, then we have Kimmy's and JSR on the second row, Hassan and Condam on the third, Peter and IDV on the fourth, Ruthful and Hooper running off the fifth row. Then we have Return, Hitzman, Bailey Thompson, Vessel, Greshu and El Sonny starting in last place. Now, before we head into qualifying, here's a short message from our sponsors, Hype Energy. It'll be good for the tyres, but maybe we'll be able to see some rain later in the race.
Sorry to spoil your party. I thought it would be a party pooper, but there's no rain expected.
Well, you never know. That says expected, but you can't control the weather, so it could suddenly just begin to fall down with rain.
Possibly. But yeah, it looks pretty clear to me, and we should be seeing hopefully a clean race. In front of the drivers, we have obviously 16 drivers, the second highest participation rate for today's race. So I've got high hopes. I'm sure you do as well, James, in the commentary box. We should be seeing a good race. I do like Germany, Hockenheim circuit. It does produce some good racing. There's obviously a lot of chances to overtake. We have 3 DRS zones to help that overtaking. We've got a tight technical third sector which could produce some incidents as well. But we're all set fair for a decent German Grand Prix for round 6 of 10. So the championship is really heating up at the latter stages, and we have a German on pole here in front of his home crowd, and I think he will be expecting or hoping to turn that pole position into a victory.
Yes, and we have all the drivers except for Return, Bailey and Greshu starting on the soft tyre, so very much as expected, no one going for the ultra soft tyres, not even outside of the top 10.
Nope, does not surprise me.
No.
But interestingly, yeah, Greshu on the medium tyres, as is Bailey and Return. So watch out for them. They'll be looking to the alternate strategy and make that work come the latter stages. It is possible to do that. So if Return can keep a clean nose in the first few laps, he should be alright to turn that medium into softs, maybe turn that 11th place outside of the points into some decent points haul.
Yes, that is definitely what he will be hoping for, and it is quite possible to do if he makes the under or overcut work. But as you said, it is very much about having to keep his nose out of battling so he he doesn't have the risk of losing it.
Yep, definitely. So FK Gaming take his first pole position of the season. Mercedes' first pole position of the season. He's got Skatey alongside him, the championship leader. He has Heinen, his pretty much championship rival for this race, down in 12th position, out of sync with where he probably wanted to start this race. But yeah, Skatey has a big advantage, but he has to get the jump on FK Gaming on the line. We saw it in PS4 F1, it can happen. Starting second can have the upper hand. Let's see what happens here in Hockenheim for the German Grand. Light. It is lights out, and away we go. When Skid's stuck on the inside of FK Gaming into turn 1, and he gets that first position as he now stream down towards turn 2 and 3. FK Gaming going to try it round the outside, but I think Skitty will have the upper hand heading through turn 3. They're still going side by side, neither of them giving an edge to each other. They're fighting hand over fist. As look, there's Kimmy's in the battle as well for the battle. First, second, and third. They're 3 wide. Skating on the inside, FK Gaming trying to hang it round the outside. This is a battle for first position on the opening lap. They're still going wheel to wheel, pedal to the metal. They're flying down toward grandstand. The Mercedes driver on the inside of the Renault. Can he finally get that position on the inside? He does. Squeezes that Renault out and takes that third position. What else happens throughout the field, Jens?
Well, it's hard to find out as many drivers swap positions. We have some guys going up and down. We have El Sonny jumping up 4 positions and Hooper falling all the way down into last place. Looks like he broke a bit of his front wing, or at least went very wide, as he has a huge gap up to Greshu in 15th.
Right into the pits.
Oh, Heitzen. Ooh, he must have lost a bit of his front wing. Yep,
did he
they're
make
changing
contact with Hooper?
That could have been, I'm not quite sure. There were some yellow flags at the start of the Grand Prix coming through turn 1 when we had the battle for first place.
You see Peter and Hazard in a scrap for 5th and 6th as Condam goes down the inside. Both Haas making moves in the early opening stages. Can Condam squeezes right around the outside of the Sauber of JSR. They're going to go side by side down towards turn 6 and 7. The Haas with the inside line. The Sauber going to have to hang it around the outside. He'll turn to the inside for turn 10. And I think they're actually still going side by side, but into the stadium section. Condam just ahead and stays ahead of that Sauber. Brilliant racing, but at the front, it's all line astern after the opening lap. FK Gaming did a fantastic job. Skitty tried his best to get ahead of the Mercedes, but FK Gaming was having absolutely none of it. Oh no, he didn't lose it coming up the final corner. Unbelievable save there from the German. He just about manages to keep ahead, but with DRS, he could be a sitting duck to the drivers behind him.
Yes, he very much could be, as that was a huge save from him. It's just put his wheels on the grass and then maybe put a bit too much power on. Let's see what Skatey can do with the DRS. Maybe Kimmys will come from behind, but Skatey goes down the inside and has the position even before the hairpin. FK Gaming, it is not a position, but Skatey locks up and FK Gaming goes down the inside. They go side by side and FK Gaming gets the position back after Skatey locked up. But then into Mercedes. Will Skatey go down the inside? No, he will not.
The other Renault of return. No, he's picked up a 3-second penalty in his battle with El Sonny. The two Dutchies going side by side, but El Sonny again making up another position from 16th and last on the grid. He's up into 10th already, showing some good pace in the McLaren. Obviously in 4th place at the moment in the Drivers' Championship. He's ahead of Hayden, who's obviously going to have a damage limitation race from here on in. It seems down at the back, maybe hoping for any safety car or slice of luck in this race. Remember at the front, FK Gaming got lucky there with Skatey locking him into the hairpin, as that's Kimmy's adding his name onto the penalty board. That's not going to go well for Germany. Thankfully for him, is a place where penalties are picked up quite frequently. so I think he shouldn't be too disheartened by that. I assume the drivers in front might get penalties as well, but can Skitty try again? Second bite of Sherry, second chance with DRS. No, he's too far back on this occasion.
Yeah, when you pick up penalties here on this track, you can be pretty sure that your rivals will also get a penalty at some point. So if you just keep it clean for the rest of your race, you shouldn't be too disheartened, as you said earlier. But yet, Skatey and FK Gaming, close battle up at the front, and Kimi's just sitting back a bit from that fight, about a second off Skatey. So it's close at the front, with the drivers behind also being quite close to each other. So that is just what we want to see. That really opens this field up for some close fighting.
Yeah, there's only, what, 3 drivers that's on a DRS range that aren't out of sync. JSOC will be under pressure from Hazard behind him in the Mercedes. But yeah, Condam actually has joined himself onto the scrap for the lead, it seems. The battle for the first position with FK Gaming still leading the way. Skitty a bit too far behind on this occasion to challenge FK Gaming. That gap between himself and Skitty is starting to stabilise a bit. Well, obviously with that DRS, Skitty will gain and gain and gain, but won't gain enough. Elsoni and IDV Lucas have swapped places the McLarens. Tactical or not, it's crucial for Elsoni's race as he tries to catch up to the closing pack, as that is Vessel making a dive up the inside of a return. Return seems to be struggling a little bit, struggling to keep up the pace of all the drivers around him, and he's lost another position to the other Dutch driver of Vessel in 11th place. In return, locks up into turn 7, trying to get a sniff of trying to get past the Red Bull, but it comes to no use. He's got the Ferrari of Bailey right behind him.
Yeah, I don't think those medium tyres are fitting that car too well, as that's all Bailey almost going down the inside of the Sachs curve. But now coming towards the final couple of corners and the DRS zone, will Bailey be able to do anything? He's on the medium tyres himself, and it looks like they're suiting that Ferrari a bit better than it is on Return's Renault. As Bailey gets a great run out of turn 1, coming out to turn 2. Return locks up. Will that set Bailey up for an overtake into the hairpin of turn 6? Coming through Palbolka with the DRS. Bailey just slots into that slipstream, now pulls out, looking to go down the inside. Braking hard as he dives it down there. Will he be able to keep it? Oh,
no,
what's the touch? Oh, they're both in the wall. Return and Bailey both in the wall. Will they be able to carry on? Yes. Huge calamities in this race on only lap 6. Bailey and Return into the wall. They've both lost huge amount of front wing coming out of the hairpin of turn 6. It looks like Return is about to retire, or will he keep it? He's really struggling now. Here Heitzen is coming up to overtake them. Oh, as Peter and Hazard is fighting further up the field, Heitzen has overtaken Return. So there's some yellow flags now in sector 3 for both those drivers.
Yeah, it looked like a decent incident between Bailey and Return, as that is Peter defending extremely aggressively from Mercedes of Hazard, as that is Return retiring from the system. That's Rufo down the inside of the turn 6 hairpin on Hazard, and the Force India going side by side with the Mercedes. Mercedes with the inside line heading into the Mercedes grandstands. If Rufo can hang it around the outside, I'll turn to the inside for this next part. Oh, they make contact again! Bit of wheel bang between the two. Here comes El Sonny round the outside. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon to the stadium section. He wisely thinks better of it. But yeah, Hazard got caught out there by Peter overtaking suddenly into turn 2. That offset him a little bit, and that gave Rufo the incentive to dive down the inside of the turn 6. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't make that move stick. And thankfully, though, he managed to keep El Sonny at bay, but only just as lap 8 starts.
Yeah, as you look further up, you see Peter almost overtaking JSR, but that's Hazard and Ruthful again fighting into turn 2. Ruthful getting the position of Hazard, and now that's El Sonny coming to overtake into the hairpin, coming through Paul Walker, getting a bit of slipstream off Ruthful. Will that be a double overtake, as that's Hazard trying to go round the outside? That's 3 wide they go, as there were some yellow flags in sector 3. Close battling there, as Hazard is looking to make the overtake into the Mercedes grandstand. She's a bit too far back, as that's Ruthful going a bit too far.
Oh, no!
As that's El Sonny touching Hazard. Oh, sorry, IDV, and Hazard off the track. And that's all. Bailey has gotten a 5-second stop go and has now retired from the session. But another small crash further down the field. Hazard almost getting spun into the wall.
Got lucky to keep it out of the barriers there, did the Mercedes. Yeah, just another bit of unfortunate contact there from El Sonny. Just tapped the rear of the Mercedes, and the physics meant that he just went spinning round and managed to catch it before he headed straight first into the barriers. As that is Hooper going down the inside of Grezio in the battle for 12th place. Hooper, after that lap 1 shenanigans, has made his way back up to 12th place. That is Peter going past JSR. So both Haas is getting past the Sauber. All the Sauber trying to fight back on the exit of that turn 6 hairpin. As that is Lucas getting very out of shape on the exit. He's got ahead of his teammate after El Sonny obviously had that misfortune battling away with Hazard. As Grezio's actually got re-overtaken Hooper. Grezio obviously on the medium tyres. Hooper goes down the inside of that turn 8. Can he hang it round the outside at turn 9 and 10? He can. The Ferrari back ahead of the Red Bull, and with those softer compounded tyres, I think he will try to pull away. Speaking of pull away, that's exactly what the top 2 are doing. Got a 2.7 second advantage. Oh, as that's FK Gaming getting his first penalty of the evening. Skitty yet to pick up one. Kim obviously has one on the board as well. And so it's Peter picking up another penalty. Turn 1 seems to be the favourite place, it seems, to pick up everyone's penalties. It doesn't surprise me. You want to go full pelt into that corner, and just a slight misjudge of how much you turn in, how much turn is required, means you might just skid off a little bit with less grip required, especially considering these soft compound tyres might not last too many laps more.
No, they will be having to come in quite soon, especially the guys that qualified in the top 10, as their soft tyres is about to run out of grip. As you can see on the predicted strategy.
Could we get past Greg?
Oh, did he? Oh yes, he did further down the field. But on the predicted pit strategy, all the soft runners are predicted to come in around lap 9 to 14. So they are certainly about to run out of grip. That's Lucas getting a 3-second time penalty.
Yep, Skatey on the back of FK Gaming, so I think he might be just sticking behind the Mercedes, but maybe might try the undercut in the pit stop phase. I wonder, or maybe he might try to get past on track. He's definitely close enough, I think. Down this straight, as that's Vessel adding himself onto the penalty board once again. But can Skatey try and get past him? He's actually backing off, it seems. He's not using any ARS down that straight. He's still gained a huge amount as he actually goes into neutral, it seems. Shifting down the gears at that hairpin, as that is Vessel and El Sonny swapping places. That's Red Bull getting ahead of the McLaren. I wonder if the McLaren has any front wing damage after hitting the rear of that Mercedes. I wouldn't really be surprised if he does. I wonder if you can. I think he might. Oh yeah, he does on the left front of his end plate there. He clearly has some sort of damage, which must be hurting him, especially through these tight sweeping corners that he's coming up towards now. So that really doesn't surprise me that he's tumbling down the field after that contact with the Mercedes.
No, definitely not. I think his plan of keeping it out on track until he has to stop for new tyres has begun to hurt him quite a bit. It's really not the optimal strategy. You can clearly see with him dropping a couple of places down the field.
No one coming into the pits just yet. People even get a bit longer. It actually did come into the pits on the previous lap. I think those tyres might have had enough after that half spin coming out of turn 10. So he's the first to dart into the pits on the or the second dart into the pits. But the first really in sync driver, as that is a Vettel getting past another McLaren at the turn 6 hairpin, and that is him past Lucas up into P8, as that is Lucas ghosting, and that means his teammate Elsoni could get past him, and he does. And Elsoni now might try and get past Vettel as well, but he doesn't. He thinks better of it. But that is Lucas losing 2 positions in 2 corners, and that is Vettel up into 8th. He's only finished 10th so far this season, so we're looking to improve on that rate, and at the moment he's doing a decent job of that so far.
Yeah, it looks like Lucas just lagged a bit coming in to the hairpin, and that has hurt him a bit there, as that's FK Gaming and Condam going into the pits, and Skatey's staying out just a bit longer.
Oh, FK's held!
Oh, yes he...
Was he?
Ooh,
No.
I don't think he was. I just think that could have been a slow pit stop.
It looked like a graphical on my screen. I was on board with Condam heading into the pits. The Mercedes wasn't out of his pit garage, but clearly that is a mistake on the Gabe's part. But he comes out in 9th position behind that battle for 6th position. It is now, as that is Rufel getting past JSR in the battle for 4th position. So that's another force idiot ahead of the Sauber, as Gresham and Hooper are still going for it. Down towards turn 6, Hooper really can't detach himself from the Red Bull. Hooper's been known to kind of magnetise it himself, his car, to other drivers. It was Skatey in Australia, it was Heinen in Bahrain, and now in Germany it is Gresham, who was obviously on those medium compound tyres compared to the softs on the Ferrari. That is Heinen picking up the penalty down in 13th position. Has been trudging along quite lonely, as Kimi's actually come to the pits. Skatey does not react. FK Gaming.
So if his lap times isn't good enough, he will be losing a position, or maybe he knows that FK Gaming came out behind the fight and will have to take the fight up with a couple of other guys. That maybe means that he'll be staying out as FK Gaming goes down the inside through Palbolka on IDV. So Skatey will probably have to come in a couple of laps. There's only a 17-second gap between FK Gaming and Skatey.
Yes, you have to know that Germany is quite short, the pit lane. It's not very long. It's one of the shortest, if not the shortest, on the calendar. But does Skatey come into the pits? He does. So 2 laps after the Mercedes made his pit stop, and Mercedes encountered some traffic. Now, where's Skatey going to fold out in this race in comparison to who he was battling, which was FK Gaming? FK Gaming is making his way round the final 2 corners. Skatey in his pit box now, puts on a set of medium tyres, take him to the end of this race. FK Gaming coming down the start-finish line now. It's going to be very close, if not really close, but FK Gaming just about makes that undercut work, but only just. FK Gaming was crucial that he cleared the traffic in front of him, and if he left it a lap later, Skatey would have been passed.
Yes, indeed. So it looks like that Skatey made those extra few laps count on those soft tires, meaning that he will also have the better grip coming the end of this race. That's very much the tire strategy coming into play. It's the only guys not having a pit stop now. It's actually only Gresham. It'll be interesting to see where he filters out when he takes his pit stop in a couple of laps.
Yep, he has Condam and Kimi's right on his tail. Both have pitted. Condam actually got past Kimi's through the pit stop phase, but Kimi's on those 1 lap fresh and medium tyres will be looking to retake that place ahead of Condam for a net 3rd position. Skatey actually losing a bit of time. FK Gaming to the fast stop of the race, really stretching his legs now. Built up a 2-second gap between himself and Skate for the lead of this race. So he's really starting to stretch those legs and try and maximise that gap as much as possible. Skate might not try and push that hard, because if he's clearly showing that FK Gaming's pushing, trying to extend that advantage he has at the front. But Skate's tyres are only 2 laps fresher. Coming to their elements come the end. That is Hazard getting past Hooper in the battle for 12th and 13th. Condam tried to get past Greju in the braking zone of the hairpin, but he couldn't. But it'll just be a matter of time for both Condam and the Force India of Kimmy's behind him gets past that Red Bull.
Yeah, it definitely will, as that's Hooper trying to dive it down the inside of Hazard, not being able to make it work in the hairpin. So these two drivers are absolutely just battling out through this whole race, as that's Hooper again trying to go around the outside into the Mercedes grandstand. They're really battling for that 12th position, and they're just losing time up to El Sonny and Lucas for the points.
Yeah, and battle for third, Greju will lose this third position into turn 2. No, Condam interestingly thinks better of it, and it could be a double overtake for Kimmy's maybe, but Condam is definitely going to get past Greju on this straight, heading down towards through Parabolica. Greju going defensive, interestingly, so he obviously wants to keep hold of that third position, but Condam goes cleanly around the outside, and Kimmy's trying to follow suit, but can't quite do so. But with better traction out of this turn 6 hairpin, flying down towards Mercedes-Benz grandstand, diving down the inside, possibly as a Force India. The Red Bull gives him the room. Force India has to hang it round the outside of turn 10. You have better grip on those tyres, and it proved dividends, and he gets past Greju. But Greju put up a decent fight. He didn't let them pass by without a fight there, and Greju loses those 2 positions on that lap. Interestingly, Condam has now got a 1.5 second advantage, as Kimmy's couldn't get past the Red Bull straight away.
Yeah, that just shows you that with the clean air you can absolutely put out a big lead. Also showing out the lead here with FK Gaming. Just with that clean air you can just blast ahead of the other guys. That's now JSR getting a 5-second time, or sorry, 3-second time penalty. Yeah, Greju will certainly have to pit on the coming laps, as those medium tyres are really beginning to wear out for him.
Yep, JSR has picked up a lot of penalties in this race so far, as has Peter as well. So, you know, at this rate, a lot of drivers, all but Skatey, I think, might have a penalty, and that's crucial, considering Skatey is within that 3-second buffer that FK Gaming holds, picking up that penalty, the German. So at this rate, still a long way to go. We've just passed halfway distance. I know it's very early to say, but Skatey will win this race at this current rate. But yeah, there's still a long way to go, so I wouldn't bet against FK Gaming trying his best to stretch those legs even more. He's doing a very good job so far, showing extraordinary pace for an F3 standard. As is Skatey as well, they've got a 5.4 second advantage in Skatey over Condam in third position. All looking so far so good for the top 2.
Yes, indeed, and as you also mentioned that it is not over until the fat lady sings. A lot of things can happen, especially for FK Gaming and Skatey. There's some yellow flags. Hooper's out. Hooper's out of this race. Let's just stick on board with FK Gaming. That is truly me giving half of a commentator's curse. I am sorry for that. Let's stick on board with FK Gaming to see what happened.
I just caught the rear end of it just about. Hooper was slammed into the sport on the start finish straight with 3 wheels on his wagon, and I think he has made contact with Heinen, because Heinen is without a substantial amount of his front wing. I think Hooper made contact with, you can see the debris of the Ferrari when he slammed into the wall. So that is 3 DNS, Ferrari having a shocker here in Hockenheimring, which is not great for their championship standings. We are high in third place in the championship, making contact with Hooper, and it was all looking so good fighting after last round, winning, but not going so well in Germany.
No, unfortunately not. And Heitzen is having, it's really going slowly, missing what I would count as half as his front wing. So he'll have to pit on this lap, which will cost him quite a bit, as that's El Soni overtaking Vessel into the hairpin. But yeah, as that's Heitzen putting on the ultra soft tyres. Interesting strategy, as there is 14 laps left of this Grand Prix. I really don't think the tyres will keep that far.
And no, I think he's just going for a splash and dash. I think he's just going to try and step fast start and maybe retire, because there's no real points. I mean, he nearly got lapped, very nearly got lapped by the leader FK Gaming. So I don't think he's got a lot to fight for. As Gregi finally coming into the pits he was one of 3 drivers to start on the medium tyres, but 2 of them got into a tangle and which had to retire from that incident. So Gregi comes out. Will come out in 12th position, but will have those soft compound tyres to note. So it will be close to see how many positions he can climb up the field with those fresher soft compound tyres.
Yes, as we'll see here, down in 10th place. Lucas really close to Vessel and looking to go down the inside of the hairpin. He'll outbrake him and just take that position very easily, but Vessel is quite close and looking to fight back into the Mercedes grandstand. Goes round the outside, at least tries, as Lucas was just defending that inside line. So that's now the 2 McLarens reunited again in 8th and 9th place.
Yeah, those 3 had a good scrap, 2 McLarens and Vessel. But don't think we'll be ending anytime soon. Germany's not the best track to try and extend an advantage when you overtake someone, because there's quite a lot of fast turns to drivers to just try and cling onto the back of you, and obviously being 3 DRS zones, it's easy to gain time through that and stick in the DRS and slipstream of someone else. So don't discount Vessel to try and get past once again. And assume he's got a warning through going through turn 1 at a faster rate of knots compared to the McLaren. The battle happening is that off a 6th position. Rufel's getting closer and closer to the back end of JSO. Obviously, JSO a lone runner for Sauber, as Lazaro cannot make it. The lone runner in the top 10 for Red Bull. Vettel going to go down the inside of Lucas once again. Clips the curb on the entry to turn 6 and makes the move for that 9th position. Lucas had a bit of oversteer, but looks like on the exit of turn 6. He's way behind. He's almost a second behind the Red Bull, so something must have happened on the exit of that turn for him. Yeah, there's Vessel reigniting his place as the Red Bull filling inside of that McLaren sandwich at the moment.
Yes, indeed, and if you look further up the field, that battle for first place, FK Gaming is almost 3 seconds ahead. You only need a 10th, and it looks like Skatey is falling a bit behind. Now that 3-second gap is solidated, but Skatey just clings on and is hoping to stay within those 3 seconds. And it looks like Skatey also have the advantage of a bit of fresher tyres. Maybe also a bit more, actually no. FK Gaming has the ERS advantage. So that'll be interesting come the end of the race to see what the gap will be like and who has the better tyres of those 2. As FK Gaming gets another 3-second time penalty.
No.
That means that at this rate he'll be having to get 3 more seconds. 3.1 seconds does he need to keep the lead, as that's Lucas and Vessel fighting again Lucas trying to overtake Vessel as he goes round the outside, coming down towards the sash curve. As that's Vessel off
no,
track
he's off.
in the gravel trap. Drops down to 12th place. And that's Heitenen again in the pits. Looks like he'll retire from the session, or no, he's coming out on another set of ultra soft tyres. Could have been the graphic playing up. But that's Vessel. He went into the gravel trap after trying to hold it round the outside of Lucas, but not being able to do so. And then just goes off. Very much like certain Sebastian Vettel, he just kept it out of the wall here in AOR.
Yep, his teammate has got past Hazard quite easily, just breezed past him down Parabolica and into the hairpin. He's way ahead in the braking zone, so that is one position, technically one overtake made up for the Red Bull, and now he's got 2.5 seconds to gain on the McLaren in front of him of the Lucas. Gaining on those fresher soft compound tyres as mentioned, so don't discount Gresham to make up a few more positions in this race. Someone who probably won't make any more positions in this race is Skatey. I think he's pretty much settled for that second. I don't think he has no answers to FK Gaming's pace. He's matching him, but only just. And obviously at this rate, he will pick up the victory thanks to the penalties FK Gaming's accumulated. Unless Skatey picks up a penalty himself, because FK Gaming is now 3.6 seconds ahead, and he's got 2 penalties, so Skatey obviously picks up another penalty. That gap would be 0.6 seconds in FK Gaming's favour, as that is Gresham setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's really putting the pedal to the metal down, really going for this it seems. And he's already clawed that 2.5 seconds that's mentioned to Lucas down to 1.8. Very interesting pace from the Red Bull as he tries to gain more positions.
Yeah, I think he's trying to give some payback for what happened with Lucas and Vessel and with his teammate there, as Peter gets a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, at the front, I think Skatey's mission right now is to just stay within those 6 seconds. I think he's just saving his tyres and maybe saving some ERS right now. So he can just, when it comes down to the 6 seconds, he can just stay with in a 5.8 second gap maybe. So I think he's not too worried about his time dropping off, as he's saving his tyres, saving ERS, and also probably saving some fuel.
He is on 2 warnings though, so he is living on a knife edge. One more warning and again that penalty will be applied, and that'll put the win back into FK Gaming's hands. So it's very interesting at the front. At the back it's happening because Gresham is now within DRS range of Lucas in the battle for 9th and 10th, and this should be a pretty easy move. No disrespect to Lucas, because Gresham's on the inside with those fresh soft compound tyres, and unsurprisingly he makes that move for 9th position as his teammate Vessel comes into the pits for a set of soft tyres, pretty much realising that his chance of any points of this race had gone after he made that mistake going into the gravel trap at the Stacks curve.
Yeah, when you just get so much gravel on your tyres, it's quite hard to get it off. And with the gap he had up to Hazard, it didn't look like he was going to produce anything, as Heitenen sets the fastest lap on those 3 lap ultra soft tyres. Very much looks like that after those 3 laps they're really up to temperature and off just beating those lap times, so that's probably also what Vessel will be trying to do. Or maybe actually keep it till the end and just keep those in a good shape and not try to challenge for any fast lap times.
Potentially, but there's no real incentive to, carry on for Vessel and Heitenen. Just to complete the race will be an achievement down in 12th and 13th. I mean, Heitenen is lapped. He's got the Haas of Peter very closely behind him. So Peter obviously down in 5th position. Haas having a very strong outing here. Condam in a provisional podium position, but with penalties I don't know. As JSR gets another penalty, he's sticking just about within DRS range of the Force India of Rufal ahead of him, but as I say that, he just dips out of it, then dips back into it. He's the only driver, apart from Lucas, who's currently within DRS range. Grezio hasn't been able to pull away from Lucas as much as he would have liked. And I don't think that 5.4 second deficit he has to the McLaren of El-Soni in front will be enough to overtake him on track. Penalties though could be a different story, as a lot of times that has happened in this season. We saw Heinen win the race on track in Austria, but obviously Skatey take the win thanks to his penalties. Is that going to happen today in Germany? We have 6.5 laps to go of this race, and at this rate, Skatey will pick up another victory, but not on track.
No, that's very much a thing he would be looking at doing, and he almost keeps it away from the curbs here, just to be sure not to cut any corners. But it'll be an interesting thing for him having a second victory this season off track due to penalties.
I'm sure he won't mind one bit, especially because second and third in the championship are both going to score 0 points. Heinen comes into the pits again for the 5th time, possibly? Fourth time, probably. Yeah. So a race forget for Heinen, the race winner from Silverstone last time out. Yeah, a very bad Sunday evening for the Finn in the Williams. His championship hopes have taken a dent here, and he has to beat Skatey at Belgium next week to have any chance, because there's only 4 races to go after this.
Oh, what's that yellow flags? Oh, I don't know what that was for. Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2.
I'm assuming it was just for Heinen letting the Mercedes of Hazard go. Yeah, I think it was, because no position changes and no time lost for anyone substantially that I can see. So yeah, it was probably Heinen.
Yep. As now Lucas goes within a very short amount of penalties, so just to be in contention to get a high position with penalties involved.
Yeah, Kimi's he's stuck with Condam for the whole race. That's yellow flag somewhere in sector 3. I'm assuming it's for Heinen, and I think it is a Heinen, and it's for Heinen. So yeah, he's just driving his own race, to be honest. I think we'll just leave him be down in 13th position. But yeah, back to Kimi's. He is just about within DRS range of the Haas in front of them. So wonder, obviously the Haas has 1 lap older tyres. Kimi's been behind the Haas ever since they switched round at the pit stop phase. Oh, as Kimi goes very wide on the exit of turn 10. Maybe pushing a bit too hard on that Force India. Pushing those track limits to his absolute limit there. But yeah, I wonder if there's going to be a battle for the final podium position, because it looks like Peter's a bit too far behind to challenge, even for penalty standard. So yeah, looks like Condam and Kimi is going to be the remaining, maybe the final battle of this race. We also have a Force India trying to protect himself from JSR behind, but JSR has been really stuck behind the Force India, can't get close to the challenge. That might be the problem with these 2018 cars, where drivers seem to be within that 1 second range, but just can't get past them. But He's got a great exit out of turn 3 and might just challenge for that 3rd position. Here he comes streaming down the parabolic. Condam already knows he has to go defensive to the end, but Kimi's is a bit too far behind. Will try a really late lunge round the outside, or try the switchback move. But Condam is defending again down towards the Mercedes-Benz ground section. They come now. Condam with the advantage. Kimi will have to be a brave man under braking to try and go down the inside, and sensibly with those wearing tyres, I think he made the right call to stay behind the Haas for the time being.
Yeah, it would have been a bit of a daring move to go down the inside. Easy way to lose a front wing, and that's just not good. As we're in the very closing stages of this race, so I think Kimi's will just be trying to get it around Parabolica, probably down the inside of turn 6 at the hairpin. Now coming through turn 1, really just being close with the DRS, bringing it all the way up into Condam's gearbox, almost pushing him through the corners there, and with the DRS through Parabolica, will he be able to make the move? As that's Condam going very defensive and forcing Kimi to go around the outside of the hairpin, and he's not able to do anything there. So Condam defending well, but now Kimi into the Mercedes grandstand will not go for the overtake. So Kimi's will just be sticking behind and just be hoping to get the DRS through the Parabolica and hoping to be able to overtake through the hairpin come the next lap, but he goes off track and gets a 3-second time penalty. Really not what he wanted. I think that puts a stopper on his hopes on a podium position.
Yep, I think it does as we approach the penultimate lap. Getting quite overcast as a cloud start to form, but I don't think it will happen anything rain expected. But yeah, the battle for the lead. Skye has an 8-10 advantage technically, but he's living on a tightrope, a very thin tightrope, and if he falls off a tightrope it means he will get that 3-second time penalty and that final warning, which means that FK Gaming, his fantastic pace, will come to absolutely nothing. It won't come to his first race victory, but he will get his first podium. Definitely that's confirmed, unless he bins it on the final lap, as Kimi has got past Condam in the battle for third position. But as you mentioned, that penalty might have cost him when the penalties sort themselves out. With 1 lap to go of this race, we have a battle forming for 6th place. 3-car train. Alsoni's just about climbed as well onto the back of this train, with Rufel leading it ahead of JSR. JSR's been stuck behind the Force India for a while now, and with 1 lap to go, he's got one last roll of dice. Has the Sauber, as has the McLaren, as has everyone else, but that's really the only battle forming as Condam's falling outside of DRS ranges. Elsewhere, he gets a penalty. Now, how's that going to affect him in the battle for 6th position? JSR has got a few. I don't know about Rufel's situation. I think Rufel has been pretty clean for the most part, but Skatey. I say that, I give him the commentators goes, wow. He gets a penalty right as I say. I don't think he's got any, but Skatey making his way through the turn 6 hairpin for the 34th and final time. It's going to be close, you know. FA Gaming's 5.6 ahead, so if Skatey cannot go conservative, he has to use all his fuel, all his ARS, all the grip he's got left on his tyres, use it, because FA Gaming best to extend that gap. He knows he has to get his start, but FK Gaming making his way round the stadium section for the 34th and final time in a brilliant Mercedes. He's going to cross the line first to win the German Grand Prix on track, but it's going to be Skatey to come home to win it again in F3. It's a second victory in 3 races for the Renault. The championship leader has come to Germany and won again. And again he wins it thanks to penalties. Do not discredit FK Gaming's resilience on that first lap and his pace throughout the race. He deserved to win, but unfortunately penalties have a different manner. Condam's got a punk on his front left tyre. Those tyres were shredded to the absolute limit, but he comes home in 4th position. Kimi does get that 3rd position. JSR gets 5th. Grezhu does get 6th. Peter 7th. Rufel gets 8th. Elsoni in 9th, and Hazard gets the final points in 10th, with Lucas in 11th, and yeah, Vessel and Hayden both had terrible races. Races to forget here in Hockenheim, but yeah, Skatey winner again.
Yes, and he does it due to penalties once again. But with that strategy, he just drove it home, keeping his tyres in okay form and just sparing up on a bit of fuel in the RS. Oh, that's Heitinen drifting it through the last couple of corners and doing some donuts in the final corner, just showing off to the cameras and the viewers before he ends the race. As there he comes.
Might as well.
Well, goes round one more time. I don't think that was planned. Now goes down to cross the line. Or as he drifts across and just crashes into the pit wall, as we here have the final standings after a bit of a show off from Heitinen.
Skatey, second victory, fourth podium of the season. He extends his championship lead to, what would that be, 27 points to Lazzaro. Just 2 points ahead, and obviously, yeah, Skatey's got a massive advantage in the championship. Huge advantage. With 4 races to go, remember, so Skatey, if he performs once again in Spa next time out, you'll probably make him favourite to win the championship in his second season in F3, I should say. Yeah, he wins 3/10 in the end from FK Gaming. It was very close, but not close enough. FK Gaming is still waiting for the elusive first victory in F3, but I'm sure it will come, especially if you can keep up this form. Kimmy's in third position, ahead of Condam. JSR in 5th, Greju making that reverse strategy work in his favour, coming home in 6th, Peter in 7th, Rufal 8th, Elsoni in 9th, Hazard in 10th, and Lucas in 11th, Vessel and Heitinen in 12th and 13th, and we lost from this race Hooper, Bailey and Return.
Yes, we unfortunately did. But that is all for us today here at the German Grand Prix. We will see you next week, same time, but at Spa. So until then, have a good one. Goodbye.
Good night.